There are some things money can't buy. I know it's a cliché, but it's true. And in today's story, we see that truth in action. Our protagonist is a simple street sweeper named Dinesh, a man so overlooked and disregarded that even his own story begins with, "He was used to going unnoticed." Now, Mumbai, where our story unfolds, is known for its chaotic energy, its relentless pace, and its stark contrasts, the gleaming skyscrapers juxtaposed against the struggles of the everyday people. In this urban jungle, there's a man who has seen it all, a seasoned beggar who, despite the countless faces that have passed by, has never failed to spot a genuine soul. As we watch Dennis's story unfold, we see a strong sense of justice. His innate goodness is constantly challenged by the realities of his situation. On one fateful day, Dennis spots something unusual, a black wallet lying on the pavement outside the luxurious Grand Imperial Hotel. It was heavy, and when he opened it, it was stuffed with $10,000 in cash credit cards and an ID that identified the owner, Mr. Vikram Mehra, the CEO of Mehra Tech Global, a successful businessman worth millions. In that moment, Dennis was faced with a monumental decision. It was a test of his integrity, a trial of his spirit. Could he walk away from that fortune, or would the temptation to take it for himself be too strong to resist? This moment was a turning point, a fork in the road where his life could go in two very different directions. Would he choose honesty or self-preservation? His mind raced. What would it mean to keep that wallet? To live with the knowledge of what he had done? How would he face himself in the mirror every day? Or would the allure of the money be too tempting to resist? We see Dennis struggle with these questions, grapple with his conscience, weigh the consequences of his actions. His internal battle is made even more intense by the weight of the moment. Now let's take a closer look at the other side of the coin. Imagine the chaos that would ensue if Dennis chose to keep the wallet. The financial windfall would undoubtedly change his life, but at what cost? The emotional toll, the psychological burden of deceit, the constant fear of being caught. These are the unseen costs that Dennis would have to bear if he chose dishonesty. However, in a remarkable display of integrity, Dennis decides to do the right thing. Despite his desperate circumstances, he resists the temptation and embarks on a mission to return the wallet. His journey takes him to a humble tea shop where he borrows a piece of paper and writes a note explaining what he found and where he left it. The question is, why does he decide to leave the wallet at the temple? Why not hand it over to the police or try to contact the owner directly? A temple might seem like an unlikely place to stash a stolen wallet, but for Dennis, it was probably the safest and most neutral location he could think of. Leaving it at the temple meant that he had done his part. If anyone found it, it would eventually make its way back to its rightful owner. Now, imagine the scene from Vikram's perspective. He is a successful businessman, used to getting what he wants, used to success and luxury. Losing his wallet is inconvenient, sure, but it's also embarrassing. It makes him feel vulnerable, exposed, like someone has invaded his carefully crafted world. But when he receives the note, everything changes. Reading those words written in fading ink on a torn piece of paper must have been a shock for Vikram. To find someone in this day and age who is honest, who doesn't take advantage of others' misfortune, it must have been incredibly refreshing. The note spoke of honesty, of integrity, of a belief in Vikram's goodness, even though he had never met Dinesh. It was a testament to Dinesh's character, a shining light in the darkness of Vikram's despair. Vikram's reaction to the note is not just a surprise, it's a profound emotional response. He feels a sense of admiration, respect, even gratitude towards the unknown man who has shown him a side of humanity that he thought had vanished. It's a reminder of his own values, of the kind of person he wants to be. This is where the power of the note truly lies. It's not just a piece of paper with some words written on it. It's a symbol of hope, a beacon of honesty in a world that often feels tainted by deceit. Now, let's talk about the impact of Dinesh's actions. By writing that note, he didn't just return a wallet. He returned a sense of hope, a belief in humanity, a faith in honesty. His actions became a catalyst for change, not just in Vikram's life, but in the lives of everyone who heard his story. But why did Vikram decide to publicly acknowledge Dinesh by posting the note online? Why not just reward Dinesh privately? Vikram's decision to post the note online wasn't just about finding Dennis. It was about sending a message about honesty, integrity, and the value of doing the right thing. It was a way of saying thank you to Dennis, of showing the world that such acts of kindness and honesty still exist. And it worked. The internet rallied behind Dinesh, wanting to be a part of this story, wanting to celebrate the honesty. They helped spread the word, amplify the voice of a man who had been ignored for most of his life. But what was the real value of this public recognition to Dinesh? Did it change his perspective, his outlook on life? How did he handle this sudden surge of attention? For Dinesh, Vikram's public acknowledgement wasn't just a matter of pride or personal satisfaction. It was a chance to inspire, to show others that honesty pays off, that doing the right thing matters. It was an opportunity to be a role model, however small that may seem. Imagine the impact of Dinesh's story on the people around him, the other street sweepers, the people in his community. His story gave them hope, showed them that they too could make a difference. It was a testament to the power of one person's actions to inspire and uplift an entire community. So how exactly did Dinesh's life transform after this incident? Did he just fade back into obscurity, or did his life really change? Well, let me tell you, Dennis's life didn't change overnight. There were no sudden, dramatic shifts in his fortune. Instead, there was a quiet, steady transformation that happened over time. Vikram, true to his word, kept his promise. He ensured that Dennis received fair compensation for his honesty, acknowledging that Dennis's actions had not only saved him financially, but had also restored his faith in humanity. It was a simple gesture, yet it spoke volumes of Vikram's gratitude. And then there's the broader impact. Dennis became a local hero, an inspiration to those around him. His story was a reminder that honesty is always the best policy, that doing the right thing, even when it's difficult, always pays off. You know, in the end, Dennis didn't just find a wallet. He found a friend, an ally, and most importantly, he found himself. Through the ordeal, he discovered the strength of his character, the power of his actions, and the importance of staying true to oneself. Looking back at the story, we can see that it wasn't just about money. Sure, the lost and found wallet played a big part, but the real meat of the story lay in the choices our characters made, in their reactions, their motivations, and their values. It was about exploring themes like honesty, integrity, and the struggle between doing what's right and doing what's easy. If you enjoyed this story, hit that thumbs up button, share it with your friends, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Your engagement fuels our creativity, so keep watching for more captivating stories just like this one. Thanks for joining us.